All right, you guys, welcome back to the Beauty Breakdown podcast. Today, I have another Arizona special stylist with us today. She is another incredible, amazing superstar, and I am so incredibly honored that she's here to join us today. A little bit about her. Her favorite thing is lived in color, and I know we all love that. So the topics we're gonna cover today are gonna just blow your mind. So without further ado, let's bring her on because let's not waste any time. We have the fabulous Jen Fitchett here. She is joining us. We are at the Gather Loft, and she is also part of Parlor One Salon. Welcome.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, we are so excited to have you. And again, like I said before, I just could not miss an opportunity to meet with these amazing, incredible women. So thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of your history. Tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, a little bit about me. So I started in this industry kind of an accident, I guess you would say. I right out of high school, my first job was working in a salon. I worked front desk there for about 4 years. I was going to college at the time. I thought I wanted to do psychology.
Okay.
And
which she practically does at this point.
So true. Those classes went to good use.
Yes.
No, so I was doing that, and I worked at a salon. I was doing front desk, and I was at a salon, and I wasn't really loving the industry where I was. You know, like you talk a lot about vibes and where you are and how it's run, and I was like, you know, I don't know if this is something I would be interested in, and I was kind of having a hard time finding my passion and my direction and what I wanted to do. And after I worked there, I left there. I went to another salon. So I went from commission to rental with a couple of my friends who I knew that worked there. And I started freelancing doing makeup, which has always been my first love. I love makeup. So I was doing that for about a year until I was like, you know what? I just need to go to cosmetology school. I need to learn how to do hair so I can do both. And so that's what I did. And I fell in love with it. And I transitioned into working at another salon after that, where I started assisting the owner and I started taking my own clients, and makeup kind of fell by the wayside, but by choice. I really fell in love with hair so much that it kind of consumed my time and my passion, and so that's what I started doing. And about 6 months ago, I left there, and I came here to Gather Loft, and I am renting with two of my best friends. What more can you ask for?
Right.
It's so much fun. So that's kind of where I'm at, and to be continued.
And I think that's something really strong to say, because for me, it's like hair was like it was mine from the moment I popped out of the womb, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's so valuable to talk about that, you know, it's not always, you don't always know right away.
You don't.
And I think that there's so many ways in this industry that we can find our passions, whether it's through education, whether it's through, you know, hair color, whether it's through cutting. And I think that's part of what makes our industry so special these days.
You're so right. That's really cool.
And one of the shifts that we have had in our industry lately, we really want to talk about that. It has been burning inside of me to just chat about this. So I think with her being a lived-in color specialist, which is basically customized color, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think all of the color that both of us do is completely customized to that client.
Yes.
So I want to talk to the stylists and the clients out there and just talk a little bit about how our industry has shifted over the years to what it is now.
Yes. I think that's a really interesting topic that not a lot of people are talking enough about.
Yeah.
I feel like color used to be very, not always black and white, I guess you would say, but it wasn't as creative and as customizable as it is now. Like now you get a client in your chair and it's not like I'm doing, well, I'm going to do the same foil pattern on every single person. I'm going to
do you want a partial or full?
Yeah. What are you going to get?
Yeah.
I'm going to do one all over toner. I'm going to time it for 7 minutes and I'll be back and then you're done. No, I think it's crazy. I think it's hard for clients to understand how detailed our job has become.
Yeah.
Because we try to make it look easy, right? Like that's what we're supposed to do.
Exactly.
So,
we're like little ducks underwater, right? In our brains, we've got 16 different placements, 16 different, you know, foil patterns, 16 different, we're doing balayage and tease lights, and this is that all in the same head.
Totally.
You know, 7 different bowls going on, a shadow root, a toner, a mid toner, you know. We've got all these things going on, and so I think it's going to be so good to just bring some light to that.
Yeah.
And just kind of to all the things that we have to do. So break it down for me.
I think it's for me, and I know a lot of the girls that I work with, and you yourself, you get a client in your chair and you talk to them about their lifestyle, what they like, what they don't like, what looks good on them, what's realistic, and you kind of find a happy medium of all those things, and you're like, okay, this is what I think would look good on you. This is what we can accomplish today. And I usually do like a breakdown with them of this is what we're looking at. This is how we're going to get you from A to Z today. And I say, this is my application process. So you're going to sit for this long. And then this is what's going to happen at the shampoo bowl. And they're like, oh, wow. Okay, so
that's worth it.
I'm going to be here for a while. And I'm like, yep, I hope you brought some snacks. If not, we'll get you some lunch. But, you know, I think it's important because I've had so many clients that have been like, you know, no one ever tells me what they're doing. No one ever is like, this is what's going to happen here. And I'm always like scared and I don't know what's going on. And so I think that's really important, is to keep your client in the loop, keep them, you know.
Yes, clients want to know what you're doing. They feel cool knowing that they're getting this like elite service done on them.
And you are doing so much, so why not share your knowledge and share. It's exciting for you, and I know it's exciting for the client to be like, I'm taking every little special step for you, and I want them to feel special, and because they are. So
all in the details.
Yeah,
and
totally
taking care of that guest when they're in your chair.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that that's become a big thing, and I think it's important to have that open communication with your client and be like, it's not just a basic foil anymore. It's a lot more than that, and I think it's okay to include them in that conversation. I think it's part of the process.
Yes, and being transparent is the key to success in this industry. If you are sticker shocking people when they walk out of the door, all of a sudden you're like, just kidding, it's $300. I mean, you know, they're not going to trust you. But if you're transparent from the very beginning and you're just like, here's our process, here's what we need to do, here's how much it's going to cost you, most of the time they're like, sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was something that was it's really challenging in the beginning, because you need to feel confident, and it takes time to build that confidence.
Yeah.
I did, however, I'll never forget, I had a stylist, an educator way back when I started, that said, you know, don't, like, at a commission salon, she'd be like, don't hand in your ticket and then run away before the receptionist tells them their total. Like, be proud of your work and know that you're worth it. And that always stuck with me. So I think it's important from the beginning to be like, this is how much it is going to be. This is where it starts. Here's what's realistic for you. Your hair might not get there or whatever. And they do appreciate it from the very beginning, for sure.
Yeah, and that definitely segues us into our next topic, and it's charging your worth. You know, you talked a little bit about how, you know, stylists should just be transparent and be proud that this is what they're charging. Yeah. And I think it's such a huge fear, especially for a lot of new people. And I coach a lot to that in my classes, and I'm like, just be transparent about it and talk to them about it. But a lot of people, they get fearful. And so where do you think that where do you think that fear comes from? And how do you think the best way to overcome that is?
Oh, that's so hard. Everyone's different. For me, I think it just came with doing the complete opposite, to be honest with you, and then realizing afterwards, okay, I'm not doing something right. I would spend, in the beginning of my career, taking one client, it would take me 6 hours to do something basic. You know, in the beginning, you're stressed out, you feel defeated, and then you get up there.
Too many things going on.
So many things, and you know, you're like, okay, well now I'm going to charge you $150 for 6 hours of work that I just did, and I
because you feel bad because you didn't tell them in the beginning.
Absolutely. So, and that is something important too, is sometimes you don't know how long the process is going to take. So sometimes it can seem like it would be really simple, and you know, maybe it might not cost this much. I might not have to use this much color, but we've all had that client that's walked in and been like, wow, your hair is so much thicker than I thought it was. It is taking me so much longer. It's not reacting the way I want it to. But you're like, you know, I told them it was going to be this much in the beginning, and so I can't charge them for the work that I actually did. Yeah. So I kind of think a really good tip is to never give someone like a set price. You always say starting cost. Yeah. And just be honest with them. Be like, it's dependent on this. You know, figure out what your guidelines are. Be like, it depends on how much color I use, or how much time it takes, or... You know, it's just you have to find your little niche and see what works for you. And
I think having organization behind your prices. So, you know, you've got your starting price and knowing what that includes. How many grams of color does that include in there? And then knowing like, okay, so then if I need to add an extra bowl of lightener, it's going to be let's just say $40, so it's an easy number. And then, okay, let's say I'm gonna do a shadow root at the bowl, that's gonna be another 30, and I'm gonna do finish with the toner, that's gonna be another 20. So I think kind of maybe sometimes like like dissecting your price is just a little
bit. That makes it a lot easier for people that are worried about it, for sure.
Exactly, and you could say, and what I like to do, one of the things that I like to do as well is I quote them high.
Yeah.
And I just say, okay, here's like what I feel like is gonna be the top thing. And I always say this to them, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna quote you, at the most that it'll be today. Is that comfortable for you? And then sometimes they're like, absolutely. And you might use that much color, and if you don't, surprise to them, they get $10, $20 off.
Right, exactly. I love that. I think that's a really good idea.
Yes, sure. I think that is so important, and I'm glad we got a chance to talk about that. I think charging your worth for stylists is so important these days. And if you guys have any questions about charging your worth, please feel free to reach out to either of us. I feel like we could both be a great resource for you.
Sure, we've been through it all.
Yeah, and we both, and I've totally had instances where I was like, oh my God, I just told them it was going to be like $100 and that was worth like $500. Like,
oh my gosh.
And it hurts so bad. But if you leave it a little bit open-ended and have them be a part of the process and coach them along the way and say, oh, we got to do this, I think you're going to be good.
I think so too.
Perfect.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so I want to finish out this episode with just grabbing, what is one of your goals over the next 365?
Oh my goodness. One of my goals is definitely doing more education. It's always been a passion of mine. I've always loved it. I've always loved interacting with other people in the industry and sharing what I love. And I've always been able to help educating, and I've done education for the last several years, but never on my own. So that's something I really want to, take control over and make that a goal of mine and actually follow through with it. And so I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if that means it's going to be, shadowing in an intimate environment or full-blown classes. Just something I want to kind of test out and see what feels right for me. But I think within the next year, I definitely want to get out there and see what happens.
What I think a good thing for everybody watching this is to bring out your notepads, write down one of your goals that you have over the next 365, and then write 5 steps to get you there. A lot of times if you break it down into the simple steps, and this is what I do a lot of times with a lot of my goals, I'm like, okay, I've got this big ginormous goal and this big circle. Now what are a couple things and key habits that I can start to create to get me there?
Yeah, I love that.
So I would like everybody to do a little homework today. I think that would be really...
notepad.
I know, I'm like, where's my notepad too? So I want to end this podcast by making sure that we can showcase how I came in connection with her. So let's share your Instagram profile with them.
Okay. It is hairandmakeup_ by Jen.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Me. It was so much fun.
Yes, and I just could not. I had to come to Gather Loft. I've been following you guys and Gather Loft and just stalking everything about it, and I just needed to come in and get in contact with you guys, and I'm so excited. Again, like I said, please reach out if you guys have any questions about any of the topics we talked about today. Post your requests in the comments below, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.